round 5, round 6, round 6. Hand is pretty slow, but I think it's a keep. Against, is it Delver? I go Tablet, Prophetic Prism, thank you. I don't like my lack of red mana and my vulnerability to my opponent's counter magic. But the matchup is pretty grindy, and Core Skyfighter is among my best cards. Damn. Yeah, I think I'll keep it, but it's close, and I could see this backfiring. If my opponent has Delver turn 1, that is actually hurtful for me this time. Usually I'm ecstatic to see that. Here my hand is so slow that it might be dangerous to me if they go Delver and then keep a spell stutter open or something. Delver into Augur into Ninja. Preordain turn 1 is definitely the opening I was most happy to see. And Ponder also the opening that I continue to be happy to see. No, there's no spell stutter open, no counter spell right now. Delver did show up. Well, now I have access to red mana though, unless I get dazed in multiple ways, but I still don't have a red card to cast, so if my opponent just counter spells my Skyfisher, I could be in trouble. So I guess after Counterspell and Skyfisher I can resolve Glintalk. So could be alright. Then my opponent still needs red mana and a lightning bolt or something to get the Glintalk off of the board. And I will find a answer to this Delver eventually. Usually that's not really what you're afraid of in the matchup. You're much more afraid of like Augur into Ninja Chains generating card advantage and then your card draw engine getting countered. So if your opponent stops you from resolving Skyfish or Glintalk, that's usually the type of game that you lose. That worked. Interesting. I don't think I want to Glintalk into their spellster then. I could have floated white mana off of the Prism and then Glintalked, but that was only the plan for when they counterspell my Skyfisher. No red mana available immediately, they have it next turn. Interesting as well. So I can Prismatic Strands next turn to try and deal with their Scrat or Lightning Bolt or whatever. That just makes this turn incredibly awkward for me if I try to do that, because I need to float 3 mana. Feels pretty good with the hand I have though. This might once again be too fancy. This time I could do the math that I'm not discarding to hand size, because discarding Prismatic Strands to hand size would have also been pretty nice here. So likely they just Scrat or Lightning Bolt my Skyfisher now. And I guess if they don't, that's also alright with me. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty great. They want to make the attack, I can block and flashback Strands. And then they have to counter Strands, otherwise I keep my Skyfisher, and if they do counter Strands, I'm still trading 1 for 1. Wow. So I traded my Prismatic Strands for Scrat and Delver, and I still have board superiority. That was insane. I'm not certain I want to risk this though, because they can spell stutter into both this. Okay, time to run out some artifacts, I guess. Because now I'm so far ahead in card advantage. Wait, what? Double spell stutter? Sure. I mean, that gives them some card advantage back, but I get to Glinthawk now. Because I didn't commit to my land yet. And now I have 2 blockers for the 2 spell stutters, so I don't think I want to be attacking. They need... Gush is good for them though. They need to bolt one of these to even get a ninja onto the board, and then they still have to give up on one of the spell stutters to get the ninja down. Yeah. I mean, they get once again get some card advantage back. They now have a spell stutter in their hand and draw a card. But yeah, they lost another bit of value here. Yeah, okay, so we figured out that their hand was ninja and gush, and it was exactly what they cast. Second fairy is annoying though, because now their fairy count is high again, and I don't currently have any instant speed removal. I've actually drawn 0 removal, which is kind of surprising. They have 4 cards in hand, 2 of which we know. No, 3. We should know 3. They have a spell stutter and an island. Did they replay one of their islands? They did, right? Yeah. So 2 of them we don't know. Huh. What? How can we not? Oh yeah, this card. I was like, they only do 2 out of gush and played this. How can I know? How can there be 2 unknowns? But yeah, they have 3 cards drawn, 1 of which they played and 2 of which are unknown to me at the moment. That makes a lot of sense. Just trying to figure out whether I can afford to run this out, because it does very well against the ninja, and it's a threat that my opponent cannot spell stutter. But it's super vulnerable to my opponent just having another scrat or bolt, getting this off of the board, attacking me, and stealing Monarch from me. They can even just cast spell stutter end of turn, so it's already pretty vulnerable. Yeah, I don't love my position here with spell stutter. Okay, they waited because they thought I was baiting them, which makes a lot of sense. I kind of wasn't. No, I am. Yeah, I think I'll pass, and then probably Alchemist Vial their ninja. I can attempt to trade Glinthawk for ninja, but that has some risk attached to it, because I would have to let my opponent go into combat, and then once we are in combat, I can no longer, like, if they attack with this and then bolt my Glinthawk afterwards, I just get blown out because I can no longer Vial afterwards. I have to make the decision here, and they can make the decision whether they bolt or not at a later point. Yeah, I think it's worth it to play around that. Buy myself some time so I can safely develop a board. My 1-off Electricity out of the main deck would be amazing. Okay, so got rewarded, because now they don't get to draw a card out of this spread. At least not right away. Oh, second ninja. Oh, that's actually decent for me, because now they can't spell stutter me. I mean, it's still pretty annoying that they have such a lead on the board, but not the worst thing that could have happened. Probably have to jam this now, just because it's so important to keep the board under control. Putting the Monarch into play if my opponent can steal it so easily is pretty annoying though. They can deal with this, they can deal with this, and each of those allows them to steal it. But yeah, I think I'm kind of priced in. because I don't have anything else useful to do with my turn. Play this first for days reasons, though Is It Delver usually doesn't run days. This is not the most stable position to be in. And my hand currently doesn't do much. Still looking for that Faithless Looting, though Faithless Looting also kind of weak to spell starter. Well, 3 of their 7 burn spells are already out, but it's very likely they can find another one with these cantrips. Augur. I mean, that helps in finding another one, but if they don't, then that's actually amazing for me. Wait, was that their reveal this time? Yeah. Bolt. Yeah, they can just attack with this. It's pretty awful for me. Because I don't have favorable attacks back. The last card in hand is Fairy. Spellstutter Sprite, I mean, yeah. Oh my god. How have I not drawn a bolt yet? Okay, now I have. But now I have all one CMC stuff in my hand. So I'm still vulnerable to Spellstutter even if I have this Galvanic Blast. Because they have this lying around. And yeah, and my opponent being the Monarch is just backbreaking. Can't really do much about it though at the moment. Man, yeah, this one's slipping out of my control. I just need my... Oh, third ninja, holy moly. I just need my Electricry. No, I have two Faithless Lootings. Also, the deck list is... Oh no, you can go exclamation mark deck to check out my deck list. No, I'm getting crushed so hard. And the matchup is so good. I mean, once again, it's much better post-board than it is pre-board, but wow. I'm just doing nothing. Wow. Oh, my deck is all Terminates, and I've drawn only one. It's actually amazing to me how I've won any rounds at all with how terribly I've been drawing. Yeah, Faithless Looting is amazing. I have no idea how not more people are running that. I maybe should even kill the fairy. Yeah, I should have killed the fairy. That was awful. How... I'm tilting off. I don't want to start tilting. That's not good. That is not good. Because I needed to remove this so my Galvanic Blast can counteract my opponent's Spellstutter. And then I could develop this Glintalk. Yeah, Faithless Looting once again would be the card that I would really, really want to find. Because then suddenly my hand goes from kind of miserable to amazing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think more people should just be playing Faithless Looting, but they've not yet adapted that. Maybe at some point I can convince them. Well, the Vial is kind of threatening. I can threaten to take the Monarch back from my opponent, but they got like a lot more cards off of it than I did. It was kind of a gamble in the spot where I played Palace Sentinels, and I was aware that it was a gamble because my position was already bad, but now it kind of snowballed out of control so that it's actually awful. Need my one-off Electricry or something. Second Galvanic Blast, not that bad. Though I'm not certain when I want to cast it. Because it's so likely my opponent has more answers in their hand, other than the one spell stutter that I know about. And like casting something proactively, they spell stutter, I blast, they doesn't work out well for me, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I do need to watch my time though, because my post-board matchup is amazing, but if I waste too much time in this game, it could end up costing me the match. Yeah, they just have too many fairies. I really needed my electric or something to show up. Yeah, now I don't even get to stop all of this from happening. Because the fairy count is already too high. Like, even my Glinthawk doesn't get to resolve. If I stop this from blocking... I don't know. I probably just get the Monarch here, but my opponent can just attack me back and then kill me with lightning bolts or something. Once again, looking for Faithless looting the entire game. Card's just so amazing. Whenever I've drawn it, I was like, holy shit, this card's insane. And whenever I didn't draw it, I was like, please show up, Faithless looting, where are you? Guess. Yeah, I think the part that I hate most about this game is that I am 3 minutes behind. I think I played it alright considering my draw was kinda shit. Though I did keep a sketchy opening hand, so maybe I should have just mulliganed to 6 instead of keeping a hand that was all like cycling artifacts and creatures. Because I did draw a low amount of reactive cards, but it was something that was predictable from the opening hand that I did keep. Okay, so I do get to become the Monarch. But yeah, they're threatening to just kill me in the backswing. I kind of just have to draw a lightning bolt. And they even get like the ninja hit in this way because I had to overextend. So I have to hope I either draw prismatic strands, though they can try and counter that, or like lightning bolt here at end of turn so I can shoot this ninja down. Sorcery speed removal is pretty funny. Yeah, I just snowballed out of my control at the point. Well, there were 2 points. One where I had to rely on like my Glinthawks to keep the air under control, and they had Scrat into ninja. And then the second point where I was desperate and ran out the Palace Sentinels, where my opponent only had like 2 cards in hand, and I was aware that there was some risk that they just find another boat, and the boat was just going to win my opponent the game on the spot. And then they had it, and I died. And everything else that happened afterwards was kind of just me watching my opponent finish out the game with the Monarch. This is just unbeatable in the format, but that's why we have it in our deck, because we beat everyone else with it. Especially when you have a safe board position. Here it was kind of like a Hail Mary. A last-ditch effort of trying to win the game where I was otherwise pretty far behind. I guess Electricity here could still do things. Okay, no. Well, I guess if my opponent... they have 7 cards in hand, that's just... I could end of turn Electricity is what I'm trying to say. Or why I didn't yet give up. Because I steal the Monarch here. But yeah, against 7 cards they are likely to just have a counter spell or another spell stutter. Wait, they even bounce the spell stutter to their hand or something? I'm not sure anymore. Maybe... okay. I'm running 2 at the moment, and I replaced. I have 1 Zen's Enlistment instead of 2 Better Screeches, so that's 1 slot, and I have 2 Prismatic Strands instead of 3 Prismatic Strands, so that's another slot. Actually, kind of sad that my Prismatic Strands was so amazing in the early game, and then I still ended up completely fizzling out and not doing anything. In this matchup, I'm more willing to have some number of Pillar Sentinels in my own deck, but yeah, I don't know. The Threat Inspectors actually gain a lot of value here in comparison to Mono Blue, because they still allow you to block your opponent's Augur, and then the Augur doesn't trigger Ninja. No, it's alright. I mean, with the meta that I've been playing against today, I would have definitely preferred to have Better Screech. Zen's Enlistment is more of a concession to like Tron, Blue-Black Control, Blue-Red Flicker, so that you have no issue of running out of threats in your deck. And it's very clearly worse against Delver, and then this is the 4th time that I play against Delver today, so for obvious reasons I would have preferred to have a Better Screech. So it is just a metagame choice, and it ended up not working out for me today. So today I don't like the Zen's Enlistment, but obviously that's results oriented, and I like the reasons for which I included it in the deck still, and I think it has merit. Maybe 2 Sentinels, no Threat Inspectors. Makes my all terminate plan a little bit better, but it's also, yeah, I'll go with that once again. Oh my god. Okay, a little better. 4th land, artifact land. Yeah, I guess so. If I draw into a 5th land too quickly, I can cycle this still, because I will bounce it off of the bounce land. Bottoming the artifact land helps a little bit if my opponent is one of those people who board in Gorilla Shaman, so there could have been some reasoning to let go of the Ancient Den. You can float mana and cycle it right away, but I'm not certain yet whether I need the Secluded Step or not. Reaping is amazing. There's so many matchups where Reaping just wins for you, and also you can just play matchups completely differently if you do have Reaping in your deck, so I wouldn't want to go without it. This is awkward though. I guess I have to hope my opponent just overextends and tries to ninja me, but it seems pretty unlikely. I guess the Augur bounce is always helpful with the ninja, so even if I do shoot down their ninja, they're not losing value. Yeah, they decided not to. I don't think I want to Palace Sentinels yet. I know my opponent has Lightning Bolt in hand, which doesn't necessarily remove my Palace Sentinels. But even if they like flash in Spellstutter, attack me for 1 in the air, it's annoying. Yeah, I think main... It is more of a sideboard card, but it's in the main deck, because some matchups you just lose game 1 every time if you don't have it, but then have great chances of winning game 1 if you do have it. So, for example, Blue-Black Alchemy is a matchup like that. Double Mountain is interesting. Because that's pretty weakening for my opponent. Okay, let's do this, I think. And bounce this. And then cycle it. Could have played this land, but I wanted to have both of my red cards open. So, like, even against Delver decks, Reaping the Graves can be amazing if the game was long. Like in the previous game, it would have just been game winning for quite a long stretch. If I was able to cast that and get a bunch of Skyfishes back to my hand. But mostly it's there for blue-black, because blue-black can just kill all of your threats and try to mill you out. And it's just a one-shot win the game card against them that they have trouble dealing with. And then it's very difficult to win the match if you always lose game one, but if you have a nice little trump for the game once, then it's a lot less pressure on you to win post-board games. That's why I like to have it in the main deck, though it is a little bit greedy. Also, it's amazing in the mirror. And yeah, the mirror is also getting more popular because this deck is amazing. And me and some other Boros people have been doing great with the deck over the last few weeks, so that's why more people are picking it up. Armory, thank you for your follow. Average amount of creatures, like 3.5 or something. But that's because, like, in the matchups where you can't afford to wait, you cast it for 1 or something at times. And in the matchups where you can afford to wait, then you return like 5. So the number of creatures that you return depends on what number of creatures you can afford to return. So even if the average ends up being 1.5, if it's sometimes 7 and the 7 wins you the game, then it's still a card worth having. So the average is not really the deciding factor. Man, this is a strange game. I just don't really have anything to do. My opponent doesn't really have anything to do. They're just sitting there with their Augur, waiting until they have enough counter backup for their ninja plan. And they're not actually aware of how awful my hand is, and then they could just ninja me right away without any repercussions. And I do want my Better Screech back. I'll have to consider putting that back in, but usually I met more nonsense in the early rounds of these challenges, and only later on in the tournament did it become this Delver-centric. Though I guess I also ran into some grinders in the early rounds, and that was just like pairing luck that I met none of the nonsense and all of the Delvers. Unreal. I'm just not doing anything here. I need a cycling artifact to go with this Glintalk. I could have bounced my land with Glintalk and tried to cast that, but I don't think it's particularly promising. Why don't I play Glintalks? Because I want them to get value later, and I don't feel like they do much for me right now on the board even. Just opens up my opponent to spellstutter me. Yeah, I guess that resolves. I could try and Pyroblast, then my opponent spellstutters, I Electricity, they counterspell, and I'm screwed. Because I end up losing the fight, getting their spellstutter on the board, getting their Augur on the board. And like, it's a losing fight. I don't know. I usually don't draw like this because this deck rarely draws like this. Why don't I win? I wish. Yeah, drawing is important, and especially because my hand doesn't really do much otherwise, drawing is important, and also my opponent's not putting that much pressure on me, so waiting for the draw is also alright. Also, I want to have them as a spellstutter sprite bait as soon as my Electricity becomes profitable. For example, this turn, if I draw Prophetic Prism, then I can Glintalk afterwards. My opponent is inclined to spellstutter, and then I can Electricity, they dispel, I Pyroblast. In this turn I would actually resolve the Electricity. I didn't want to start that fight of like Pyroblast, their Augur, spellstutter, Electricity when I assume that I'm going to lose the fight because there's Hydroblast or Counterspell or something follow up by my opponent. But if they're tapped down low enough, then I want to start a fight where they try to spell stutter me and I know I come out ahead. So picking the right time for this Glintalk into spell stutter interaction is also important to me. But yeah, I'm very reliant on finding an artifact here that would generate me some value. Otherwise my hand doesn't really do that much. Okay, they resolved their Preordain. Finally. But yeah, not having Better Screech is screwing me over pretty badly. Ninja. That is pretty aggro. Though they do get the Augur value out of it regardless. But yeah, now I can just Pyro the Ninja. I think that's slightly better than... I mean, Pyro is a very expensive card to give up on. Because I do need those Pyros. Bold my... What the hell? I guess they were discarding to hand size, sure. But still. That is pretty aggro. I guess I can try like Pyro, Electricity, become the Monarch. Actually doesn't seem completely out of the question, but I'm throwing away Pyro for something that I don't want to do and my Electricity for something that I don't really want to do. But it seems better than my alternative, so I think I'm doing that. And just hoping I can ride this Monarch to victory, and then I'll even do like a no value Glintalk to go with all of it. Because that increases my chances of protecting the Monarch. I think this is also a losing line of play, but it does better than the line of play of not doing anything, basically. I get at least 2 cards out of this. And there's my black source, so... Thank you, MKP Fox. And congrats, Like a Dingo. Welcome to the team. They revealed, gosh, yeah. They're just crushing me in card advantage, so I think trying to Monarch them out is my last chance once again. Yeah, I'm dead to them finding a ninja. I'm also dead because I'm very vulnerable to spell stutter if I wait, so I think desperate attempt of Monarch is the best thing I can do. Though I'm still vulnerable to my opponent just having spell stutter plus lightning bolt here. Shooting this Glintalk down, countering this Glintalk. Reaping the Graves gives me some hope, but my graveyard is not filled all that well yet. Yeah, this is not the way that you really want to use Pyroblast in this matchup, but that's how it goes. Huh. I think I'm back to holding on to this Glintalk. I mean, now I've committed to it anyways, because I can't put this engine down on the board anymore. They likely spell stutter me here, yeah. I could try and kill it, but then they just cast second spell stutter. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, they even chose to not lightning bolt down my Glintalk end of turn because that allowed them to keep open spell stutter. If they had tapped that, they were going to lose their spell stutter to bolt. So I guess that means my opponent doesn't have a Hydroblast. That's what we can infer from that. Because if they had Hydroblast, they would have lightning bolted my Glintalk and kept the one island open for spell stutter protection. So that makes it very likely my opponent has a second spell stutter, and very unlikely that they have a Hydroblast. Or they just don't have the Scrat or Lightning Bolt to go with it, but I think that's also pretty close to impossible. No? Wow. They just don't have a red card. Nothing to shoot down my Glinthawk with. That's pretty amazing for me. Okay, okay. Yeah, things are looking better here. Things are looking better. I guess I'll just Reaping the Graves for 2. Is that alright? Yeah, there's the extra spell stat that we expected. Yeah, I think I have to keep velocity going. Same target, Glinthawk, Glinthawk. It's a little bit wasteful, but I need to keep fighting for the board. Yeah, Electricity here would be so amazing. I'm pretty sad that I had to waste the previous one, or at least I felt like I had to protect Monarch. And that's a lot of balls. But they did have a red card. How the hell? That is very surprising to me. Okay, I guess I'll try this. No, during their turn is better. Okay. That seems very surprising to me that my opponent didn't just take the Monarch from me. They could have bolted this on their turn and then just attacked with the spell stutter. And that put me into a pretty bad position. I want to shoot these down before my opponent can ninja them. And if they tap out too far on their turn, I get to at least resolve the Skyfisher. Yeah. Still need to draw into like a second Electricity or something to really stabilize this board. But at least I'm doing like okay trading off my opponent's resources while I'm still generating some kind of advantage of my own. Wow, how is the champ? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Please elaborate. I guess I could have just vialed it as well. Counterspell, sure. Now I get to steal back the Monarch and then stop their attackers from hitting me. Nice, nice. I guess I could have done that first, maybe, to increase the chances of resolving my Skyfisher. That would have been slightly better. Still under time pressure, so not everything was 100% perfect. Yeah, I should have went Alchemist Valve first and then had Pyroblast protection, but there was kind of low chance of me drawing that, and only matters when my opponent decides to counter my Skyfisher but not my Vial. I think so. I didn't want my opponent to... No! Didn't want my opponent to reuse their their spell status with Ninja. But yeah, shooting down miscreants can also have its upsides. Not quite sure. Okay, having the Pyroblast ends up being pretty amazing here though. So this block is not something I really want to do, but I kind of have to for Monarch protection once again. Yeah, this resolving when I had Pyroblast in my hand is pretty sad. Once again looking for my Faithless Looting. I block. What the hell is this game? Oh my god, that's disgusting. That's so disgusting. Okay. Yeah, more value creatures, perfect. Journey to Nowhere would obviously be useful. Even like Bolt for this would be useful. Oh my god. I shouldn't have played that. Faithless Looting and all that. I was still waiting for the Faithless Looting to finally show up. Didn't board it out this time, right? No. There's the Journey, but a turn too late. I guess I can steal the Monarch back from them if they don't have another counter. How many Lightning Bolts do they have left? Up to 3. Though I think most lists only... Oh no, they have... Most lists only play 3, so they have 0. But they still have some Scrats in their deck, most likely. I've never seen anyone on the Delver side of this matchup board out Scrats, I think. Yeah, I'll take it. I guess if they could have ninja'd this, it was awful for me, but I couldn't really block there with any kind of value. Ah, god damn it. Oh, where's my Faithless Looting? Oh, they do have Scrat. Oh my god, that's so disgusting. Then if I had attacked with both, I get the Monarch back, but they can steal it back. Yeah, I had to hope that they don't take it from me. Guess get this one off of the board. It makes me take less damage. If they have another Scrat, I'm just dead on the spot, but so be it. Yeah, Unreal Tilting, I agree. That was the 4th counter spell, I think. I mean, they are through 40 of their 60 cards, but my draw is Unreal Tilting. Holy shit. Oh my god. Where's my Faithless Looting? And what a way to go down. Yeah. Yeah, this is why we play looting, so that this many lands turns into so many spells. But both of them are on the bottom half of my library once again. God damn it. I think I'm happy with how I played this match, but getting absolutely demolished by my own draws. Yeah, I should put more Faithless Lootings in my deck. I just don't know how to make room for them. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, I think